Good evening, everybody, and welcome to JPR Season 8, Round 4, I believe it is, and we're in Montreal, Canada. Tonight I'm joined by either you know him as Robbie or you'll know him on the track as RZDV. How's it going?
It's going well. Good to be back on a racetrack, sort of.
Should rather be in a car, should you not?
Nah, I'm not quick enough anymore. To be honest. I haven't been on this game in probably like 3 months.
We're now commencing with the start of qualifying. Obviously just the one qualifying session, no full quali. So you have just 18 minutes. Just the one qualifying session, no full quali. I can hear myself in the background and I don't like that. Okay, it's gone. There we go. So we're riding with the Red Bull driver. That's Heno. Obviously now with having Robbie with me here, he can obviously look at different camera angles, and if I miss something, then let me know. So if I'm following one car, you can follow another. Have you seen this interesting strategy, Rob? You've been gone a while.
Yeah,
there's a new interesting strategy of using intermediates.
I see. Now just keep quiet. Yeah.
We're riding with Heno on what I believe is his first fast lap. He's going to get a bit of traffic here, left and right, and I think that may just have put him off the lap. No lap times on the board yet. We have Staffy in the comments section as usual. Evening Staff, thanks for joining. Who's that? Staffy.
Staffy.
I think it's going to be a fixture tonight.
Pumpkin and purple in the middle sector.
I think we're going to see.
And I guess for about 4 seconds.
I think we may see a lot of deleted times, and in the race penalties.
Yeah, this track normally is rough on the penalties. Third.
Not so much anymore, because most of the track is sort of closed to the public. But back in the day, this was considered a full street circuit. Yeah, this was considered a full street circuit.
Mercedes parked right in front of the hairpin. But going again at least.
Ooh. What car?
Pampoen almost drove into the Merckx ring.
We're riding with Shakes F1. No lap time from him up as of yet. He's on a fast lap, I believe, but he's going to get some traffic up ahead. Shakes goes over the line, first lap time of the night, 11.5. At the front of the field, Williams. Pampoen leads the way, 110.3. The other man in the 110s, 110.6 to Cheddar, that's P2. Then we got Panda P3, Shane P4. Shakes with that lap time of an 11.5 was good enough for P5. Then the two Ferraris, 6 and 7.
Almost looks like the Red Bull gap between those two.
Between which two?
The two Ferraris.
Let's not bring politics into this comms box.
Staff goes 8 with a 113.5. And the Merc going into the final corner. I'm actually quite surprised to see that nobody's really taking the shortest line to the start finish. I'm getting a couple of things.
I think everybody approaches that. You're talking about here by the Wall of Champions, Rob.
Yeah.
I think everybody approaches it a little bit. I think everyone approaches it a little bit differently according to the confidence they have in that corner. Number one, are you scared of the Wall of Champions? And number two, are you scared of that corner cut? Because it's so easy to just overcommit, take too much curb, and pick up a penalty, or in this case, delete your lap time.
Yeah.
And if you do it there, it sort of cancels your next lap too. So in a short quali, you can really get caught out for time. Red Bull back out on track. Shane currently P4 doing an outlap. Provisional pole position also out on an outlap. Pampun looking to improve. Wish there was a way we could alternate between our camera angles.
Yeah, I could. Oh. Yeah,
but that would be asking for the spectator mode in this game to change in the last 5 years. Pampun still at the front, 110.3, he's on an outlap, looking to improve. Shane has just started his second fast lap of the evening, currently P4, 11.1. First thing he'll want to do, get into the 10s, but he needs to get into the low 10s. It seems that way. Pampun.
Got a bit caught up in traffic coming out of the pits.
Here we've got Shane now going up that back straight. Is that, what is that, Casino Straight? I believe that's Casino Straight.
There you go, that's better.
Shane over the line, he goes better, 110.5, still 2/10 away from the Williams driver. Cheddar's out on circuit, that's the man in P3, he's just been demoted by Shane, also on an outlap for Alpine. The AlphaTauri shakes, having another go at it. First round of that was a 1:11.5, 1.2 seconds adrift from where he'd like to be. It's gonna have to be a big improvement.
Oh, and Pampun validated.
Pampun invalidating lap, so easy to do. Ooh, and we have a crash, and we had that on camera. Sorry, Shakes, but everyone got to see that. Just lost it on the exit, and wasn't the Wall of Champions, it was actually the inside pit wall that took Shakes out of the equation for the remainder of qualifying. His best possible starting position is P6. That's if no one below him improves.
But I do think some drivers below him will improve, especially. Okay, never mind. Boy, we started on the Inters already, did lap on the soft tires.
Still waiting for a lap from Nuclear Monkey. Currently at the back of the field with that McLaren, looking for his first timed lap of the evening, and he's got laps on those tires. So I'm guessing he's just been doing invalidated lap after invalidated lap because he can't seem to get a lap time.
The Alpine on a good lap, 3/10 up in the middle sector.
That's Cheddar now going over the start-finish line. Let's see what he does. Goes fastest. 200ths of a second. 1800ths of a second.
That wants to be done. It'll be interesting to see what Pompoon can do without the traffic and invalidation lap.
Means if you want to get on the front row, you're going to have to get a 1:10.2 basically. Because those are low 1:10.3s. Ferrari. I apologise, I sometimes forget about the Ferraris.
It's on a lap, looks like. And Top Gun invalidated.
Top Gun dived into the pits, obviously giving up on that lap. Sometimes... Go on.
And also on the lap at the hairpin, exiting the hairpin with MJ close behind him.
How many minutes are remaining in your session, Rob?
5:10.
For some reason it seems like you're slightly ahead of me. That's really weird.
That's weird.
At the front.
Up to the line. Improve.
Where is Morris? Still in P10, 1:13.1. Not good enough to improve. Track very quiet at the moment. Only MJ on an in lap, and as we say, now Staffy on an out lap. This will be the final run for some. Still a whole lot of cars waiting in the pits, waiting to go a little bit later.
I think it will be key to get out on track the last, because you can gain a lot of time.
It's also important to watch that track map, you know, on your pit exit, and just try and find yourself a nice little space on circuit. You don't want your final run to come down to traffic. On this track, if you catch traffic at the wrong place, there's nothing the car in front can actually do. Here goes Staffy through the final chicane. They've obviously moved that wall of champions much further back than what it used to be. Every single time a car came around, you thought it would hit. Guys actually get quite far away from that wall.
Or they're just not pushing hard enough.
There was actually that wall of champions got the name because it was on one particular race weekend where it was like every single world champion at some stage in the weekend hit that wall, whether it was in practice or qualifying in the race. Everyone had a turn, including Michael Schumacher. anyone who was a world champion on the grid hit that wall. Jacques Villeneuve, Michael Schumacher, I think Hakkinen, everyone hit that wall at some point in the weekend. Became the wall of champions.
That's just hit a wall on the exit of the hairpin. So looks like all intact.
Looks like he's still going. He's going to go over the start-finish line now. Currently P11. He did not improve. Stays P11.
Pumping out on track.
Currently P2. And really, he just needs to improve by the smallest amount. Anything he can find. Couple of thousandths. So if he did make any mistakes on his previous lap, he'll know exactly where that is. Ooh. And that's not what he'll want. He's going to back out of that lap. Yeah, he's going to back out of that lap.
Again.
So difficult that going through the first, is it a chicane? I guess it's a chicane. Going through corners 3 and 4, just so easy to get a bit greedy on the throttle, apply too much on the exit too quickly, and he just got it all out of shape, backed out of the lap. But he's charged up the battery once again, and he'll be having another go. Panda, currently P4, 111.0. Also getting out of shape in Sector 1. Those turns 3 and 4 also so easy to take too much curb, get a bit too greedy. Magosi didn't see that, but he's retired.
I think he retired in the pits.
Maybe just retiring, yeah, retiring in the pits. Obviously, almost no time left in the session, so nothing he can do from there. We're riding with Convoy, currently in P5. He's got an 11.2. Let's go back to the front. Where is Pampun? He's having another go. He's in Sector 1. He's going to go through that chicane again. Does he keep the car in line this time? He does. And this is going to have to be the lap. Let's ride on board with him. Currently P2, 110.327.
Shara improved by 2 tenths through the middle sector.
Heading down now to the slowest part of the circuit. Aptly named. No confusing name. Just named the hairpin.
Shara completing the lap with 110.1.
We're riding with Pampun as he goes into that final chicane before you get to them. And he's pulled out of it. He's pulled out of it. And that's that. No one else out on track. Everyone's got a checkered flag next to their name, or they're in the pits.
Yep.
So, unless there's any penalties of some sort that I don't know about, I believe that should be your order. But we'll wait for the official standings before we read that out. So what do you make of the lineup, Rob?
Interesting. Some guys are expected to be higher, that's not as high, I would have thought.
Unfortunate for Nuclear Monkey, looks like he wasn't able to get a lap in at all.
Yeah. This is one of the tracks where track limits can really...
There are your official standings. Cheddar taking pole position with that 110.1. He actually did improve it at the end. Pampun P2, 110.3. Then Shane takes P3. Convoy in 4th. Panda P5. Shake 6th, Top Gun 7th, Bifflesfontein 8th, Dan Ritveldt 9th, MJ in 10th. And then outside your top 10 tonight, we have Staffy P11, Afmagozi P12, Heno, and Nuclear Monkey making up your field. He did not set a lap time. Rob, who's going to be first into turn 1? Good evening to good evening Dixie Killer. Good evening Visor. Sorry, I just have my monitors set up the way they should be tonight, and I actually keep on forgetting to look to the left because it's on the left now. So if I'm a bit slow in the comments, I do apologize, but good evening everyone, and you've joined us just in time for the race.
To come back to that question you asked me, I think Chara will be first into turn 1, but don't throw away Pompoon. He does tend to get good starts.
I think if those two on the front row have that sort of pace, I think it's going to be important for Shane in P3 to not let those two get away. So
yeah,
maybe P3, something special. This is a very difficult turn 1. There we go. There's the lights. No formation lap. Keep on forgetting about that formation lap. Here we go. Not the best camera angle to see what happens. There we go. That's a bit better. Cheddar easily into turn 1 in front. Pompoon P2. No crazy stuff at the front. Top 3 holding their positions. Shane up the inside. Nicely done up the inside. Tyre still cold though, getting out of shape on the exit. The Williams comes back. Need to do something about these liveries. Clearly have too many blue cars and too many teams starting with A. I'm getting quite confused.
Ferrari getting past the McLaren of Convoy into the chicane.
That was Top Gun. Obviously lap 1, no DRS. Lap 1, so no DRS. There are your potential race strategies. Hards onto mediums or medium soft. I'm not sure if I agree with that.
Well, it looks like Nuclear is having a better start to the race than anybody had in qualifying, already up by 1 position.
Yeah, he's picked up that position on the second Red Bull. Heno moves down to P14. Nuclear Monkey now in pursuit of his next target. That is Afmagozi. I'm going to try to give everyone a little bit of footage. Don't want to forget about the guys at the back. Sometimes the best passes are here at the back.
Good battle yet with Convoy and MJ. As MJ goes for the dive and gets it. Off track though.
Might have to give that back. It's all about what the game's going to throw at you.
Oh. He was disconnected. Oh, and Aston Martin loses his wing.
Oh, and we've got a Williams going around. Who's that? That is... Careful, don't lose your wing. Oh, and he's done exactly that. Trying to turn the car around. Oh, and that's probably going to be a yellow flag. No, virtual safety car.
I don't think Chara...
I'm actually surprised that's not a full safety car, because that guy's in a pretty unfortunate place. Staffy has left the session. He's obviously not
really happy.
Not too impressed with proceedings. Just got spun around and then trying to get the car facing in the right direction. He drove ever so slowly into the pit wall, or into the wall rather. So A virtual safety car. Cheddar leads the way from Shane. Pampoon P3, Panda P5, Shakes. Make it Panda P4, Shakes P5. Not really a fan of the virtual safety car, Rob. I prefer the full safety car, neutralizes the race, brings everyone together. The virtual safety car, although, if you're not paying attention, you can lose a lot of time.
Yeah.
I've had pretty impressive gaps being cut down in virtual safety cars. There we go, he gets past Cheddar at the restart of the virtual safety car. Just got the jump on him. And for now, the Red Bull leads the way, but surely the Alpine is going to come back at him. How far back is Pampoon? He's 2.5 seconds adrift from these two, so as these two battle, Pampoon will see opportunity to catch up to those two. Let's see, further back in the field. See, unfortunately, that virtual safety car, Rob, it's broken up all the possibilities of DRS trains.
Yeah.
Nobody. Okay, there's one car, Panda,
who's now fallen out of it.
Now fallen out of it. So.
And then obviously the top two.
Cheddar has DRS on Shane, and no one else on track is within DRS range. So. I don't know if we're going to be seeing any DRS trains like we did last week.
And about 8 tenths behind Pampoon as well now.
Actually, Pampoon going the wrong way. He wants to catch up to the top two, but he's falling into the clutches of the Alfa Romeo. Just ever so close to DRS, and once he does get DRS, he can make the life of that Williams very difficult.
Oh, no,
I'm not going to read that out. I'm not going to read that out, Steffi. But I thought you would be thinking something like that.
Cheddar 5 tenths behind Shane.
Panda now falling a little behind Pampoon. Pampoon trying to make up ground on these two. 0.3 of a second for the lead. Will Cheddar go for it this time round? He's got DRS. Not into turn 1. And not around Virage. Maybe a dive into 3. Not this time around. He's going to be patient. The top two clearly on the same strategy. You've seen that on your tyre screen, Rob. Yeah. Top two both on mediums. The next 3 on a different strategy. All on hards. They're going to go further on into this race. So their target will be not necessarily to lead this race, but to fall behind as little as possible. Get the most advantage out of those hards. They're not supposed to match the mediums at this stage. So technically 3rd, 4th and 5th still in a pretty strong position, just on a different strategy. He did. Just before the chicane in DRS.
Looking at different gaps.
This time Cheddar goes over the line, and because of the DRS placement...
Safety car.
Full safety car. Who is that? Looking down the field, do you see anyone stopped on circuit?
No.
I don't see anyone stopped on circuit. And I don't see anyone falling down the field. So... not quite sure what that's about. We've got a pretty nasty crash with Staffy in a terrible part of the track, and we got a virtual safety car. And now Not really sure.
Into the Mercedes.
Why do we have a safety car?
I have no idea. I didn't see. When I saw yellow flags, I looked at the track map and there was no one in walls or anything.
It's just got crash gate written all over it, except the guy forgot to crash. I don't. Well, I have once spun on this game and broken a wing, and it brought out a safety car.
I didn't see anyone.
But maybe Dan Rittveld? He's down in 13th place. Or is that a ghost car?
He's in the lobby.
He's not in the lobby because I see that car is a minute behind. So I'm just trying to see who seems to have really fallen back. Might be a sign of. Siap Magosi is quite far behind the queue. I wonder if it was just a off-track incident that activated a safety car.
Magosi was behind Combo because he had to go pit to change his front wing.
We do have a DNF. We do have a DNF. It wasn't on our screens up until now, but Panda. There we go, Panda falling down the field, DNF for Panda, second DNF of the evening, and this one did cause a full safety car. Safety car has collected your leader. Q is not gonna join together this lap, so we're gonna get at least another lap. Rob, have you ever tried to play this game with the, I think it's under safety car on the other setting? I think on broadcast?
No,
it's terrible. Every time there's a safety car, it takes you out of the race so badly.
And you can't do a pit stop or anything.
You sit and watch these AI clowns going around. I don't trust the AI on this game at all. You know, it happened a few rounds ago. I'm commentating on a few leagues now, so I'm not even sure what race it was, but a few rounds ago, Shane briefly got disconnected. And when I say briefly, his AI probably drove the car for, I'd say a maximum of between 3 and 4 laps. 4 at the most. And in that time, just before he disconnected, Shane had put on a brand new set of tyres. Very next lap, the AI came in, got rid of those tyres, put on intermediates. Then when Shane came out, he obviously had to pit to get rid of those tyres, and they put on his original set of tyres.
Oh.
The one he started with.
Talk about bad luck.
So not using 2 compounds means he had to stop again. Never trust the AI on this game. Although, if you're slower than the AI percentage, sometimes it's easier to pause.
Yeah.
There was a league some time back when, Rob, where we were doing Monte Carlo. It was a 100% race, and somebody literally disconnected right at the beginning of the race, and their car ghosted for the entirety of that race, and that car finished in P4. So if the AI is too high, sometimes it's easier for the guys at the back to just press pause. But I wouldn't trust this AI when it comes to strategy.
Not at all.
Pretty rare sight to see a Mercedes at the front of the field.
Yeah.
Do you think that's George Russell or Lewis Hamilton? Maybe Toto Wolff. That's why he's not in the pit garage.
Yeah, he's driving the safety car.
Wants to do something a bit different for Mercedes.
Now you can say at least the Mercedes has been leading some races.
I wonder if the rumors are true that all of this less time spent at the track means that Toto Wolff is looking at life beyond F1.
Could be.
Obviously owns 33% of that team. The other two shareholders being Mercedes-Benz and Ineos, I believe. Still driving around behind the safety car, and as I say that, top of our screens, safety car in this lap. We go around the hairpin onto Casino Straight. Sorry.
I'm gonna leave you. Sounds like my generator's gonna die.
Well, if you have time to come back, come back. Enjoy. Well, stay here until it dies then.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Cheddar leads the way, and the safety car has found the pit entry. So now Cheddar is your leader. He goes on the exit of the chicane. Does he get the jump on Shane? Not quite. Just half a second, that gap.
But
kept him in tow.
From Prince should be getting into the rhythm now.
Unless I've missed anything or you've missed anything, everyone's been pretty calm into turn one. All the restarts have been pretty clean, undramatic. Pampun doing all he can to this time stay with Cheddar and Shane. Rob, you see the problem I have with, well, not just this game, but all the F1 games we've played. When it comes to strategy, starting on a soft tyre, I just feel that if you get an early safety car, there's no way you can benefit from a soft tyre, unless through a pit stop. But any advantage you gain at the start of the race, you build up a 3, 4, 5 second gap on your softer tyre, and then the safety car comes out, ruins that gap. And now I believe the guys in 3rd, 4th and 5th that we spoke about, all on hards, they're in a pretty strong position. Because it's cancelled out that benefit of the mediums. We have lost Rob, so I'm on my own again. There we go. Yep, Rob is gone. Hopefully we'll see him back. Cheddar leads the way at the front. He leads from Shane. 1.2 seconds is the gap. That's the biggest it's been in a while. Pampun within DRS of Shane, trying to stay now with the Red Bull. Doesn't want to let them sneak up the road like he did on the previous stint of the race. Shakes up to P4. Buffelsfontein, P5. And then we have Top Gun, who's on seems to be a very out of sync strategy with everyone else, so trying something different. He is on a set of hards, but they're 4 laps old. I wonder if he puts it under the first virtual safety car, and I say first virtual safety car because we're under virtual safety car yet again. Pampun puts just at the right time. Take full advantage of that virtual safety car. Cars obviously have to slow down. You're in the pit lane, means you lose less time relative to those cars because they have to drive slower. Wonder if Staffy is still with us, if he's still watching the stream. If he is, let us know what happened there. It just seems like you couldn't get the car turned around. Still under virtual safety car. Cheddar chose to stay out. Ooh, we have a speeding under. I didn't see who that was for. I think that was for Top Gun. Let's just get confirmation. Yes, a drive through for Top Gun. Obviously going just a little too early. Going a little too early there on the... trying to predict that start. And the virtual safety car just catching him out. Cheddar leading the way, but Cheddar did not make a pit stop under safety car. He leads the way on 13 lap old mediums. Then he has a smattering of cars behind him on the hard compound. Cars that did make a change. Ooh, Pampun facing the wrong way. Pampun facing the wrong way, and he's going to get going again. Was that carbon fiber or was that just smoke? Not sure. Don't see any carbon fiber missing from his car. Pampun back underway. But he'll surely be annoyed as the second stint of this race not going the way he would have wanted. Not getting an answer from Staffy, so it seems like he's left the game and the stream. Purely fed up. Not having a good night. Magozi having a strong race so far. He's in P5. Shane coming up behind the Aston Martin now. Magozi on those mediums. He's going to want to hold track position as much as possible. Sometimes you think the guy behind me is much faster. There's no reason to battle him. But you never know if defending from him for an extra half a lap. That might be the difference between him beating you later in the race. Ooh, and we have a Aston Martin getting out of shape on the exit. That's Magozi. No damage to the car, luckily for him, but he has lost positions down into P7. Those mediums are aging, so I think we'll see him in the pits shortly. We have Shane coming into the pits. Do we? Coming out of the pits, sorry, we didn't catch that pit stop. So he's come out of the pits in P11. He's got past his teammates almost immediately, so he's back into P10. That must have been a drive-through. I'm not sure what we missed. Cheddar keeps going on those mediums. 14 laps now. He's going to go over the line. That's going to be 15 laps on that set of mediums. But at the moment, he's still going faster and faster. So, no reason to get off those mediums. Seems like they're still working great. Nuclear Monkey gets a 3-second penalty. Really got to be careful with these penalties. Got to keep them in mind. Something happens towards the end of the race. You get a safety car. Closes these gaps together, and those penalties will put you all the way down the field. Got to keep them to a minimum, and preferably at 0. Positions lost and gained. Biggest winner in the race so far is Nuclear Monkey. He's picked up 8 positions, currently in P6. He started at the back. Remember, he did not set a lap time in qualifying. And then the most positions lost at the time is Shane. He's down 7 spots, but now all over the back of Top Gun, causing all sorts of problems for the Ferrari driver. He wants to get by. He wants to get on with this race. Goes through Sector 2, fastest Sector 2 of the race. Wants to get on with it. Ducks behind the Ferrari now. He'll get DRS. And there should be no competition in this. There we go. Gets past on the outside long before the chicane. And up into P9. That was the fastest lap of the race, and he was battling a Ferrari. back at the front. Cheddar leads the way. 4.5 seconds. Seems to be in control of this race. Getting all confused in my own menu. There we go. Cheddar finally into the pits. 16 laps on those mediums. What does he emerge with? He emerges on a set of hards. Now either Shane got a penalty or he started on the medium, went to the hard, back onto a second set of mediums. I'm not sure what happened there, but he's gone to the back of the field and now making up positions lap by lap. Magosi goes into the pits. That means Shane will gain another position up into P8. We ride with Shakes and Bifflesfontein now. Nice helicopter cam of the two. The AlphaTauri. Nicely done. Easily done. Not much of a fight from the Mercedes. Does Bifflesfontein have a problem? Seems to just be going a little bit slowly through the corners. Don't see any damage there. Maybe it's the fact that he's on 17 lap old hards. Now Cheddar, man who's led a majority of this race, he's down in P3 after that pit stop. He's going to be the only one in the top 3 on a set of hards. 2 cars in front of him. They have the superior compound. But for how long will that compound be an advantage to them? Because Cheddar really stretched those mediums. So that means the 2 cars in front of him may be on mediums, but they're 6 laps old. And Cheddar's tyres have just got started. Back to the Red Bull that is trying to make its way through the field. Now behind Nuclear Monkey, P5, P6. Possible DRS battle coming up here, but there's nothing you can do. The driver behind you just needs to get as close as possible in the hairpin and never mind. Gets around the McLaren before the hairpin. Cheddar, fastest lap of the race on that brand new set of hards. And look at that, he is right behind the McLaren. It's really just got phenomenal speed. At this point in the race, Convoy should have a slight advantage on those mediums, but it doesn't look like it. The Alpine just getting superior traction. Corner exit after corner exit. Putting all sorts of pressure on the McLaren. He'll look in his left mirror, he'll see Alpine. He'll look in his right mirror and he'll see Alpine. Because that car's going to the left, to the right, looking for every possible little mistake. You want to be close enough to capitalize on any mistake, but you have to be careful not to get too close and lose your front wing. Cheddar back into the lead of the race. Gets past Convoy before the chicane at the end of Casino Straight. And Cheddar, if he can keep this car pointing in the right direction, I don't see any reason why he should not win this. Another thing on the side of Cheddar, if you haven't noticed on your screen, everyone behind him has some sort of penalty. Cheddar, no penalties to his name. So, unless something unfortunate were to happen, This would take a magic drive from somebody to turn this around. Shane's on that recovery drive currently in P5, but he's got a 5-second penalty next to his name. Shakes P4 with 6 seconds. Then Conboy and Pampun P2, P3 with 3 seconds apiece. Both Ferraris, 3 seconds worth of penalties. And then Nuclear Monkey in the second McLaren also 3 seconds. 3 drivers on track, 4 drivers on track remain out of the penalty books. Those are Cheddar, Buffelsfontein, Heno, and Apmagosi. Pampun now just behind the McLaren of Conboy. Remember, they're on exactly the same strategy, they're on exactly the same compound, same age of tyre. Ooh, and there's contact there, we saw that on the screen, just the slightest contact. Williams going into the back of the McLaren, don't see any damage on the wing, so that really was just the slightest of contact. He did back out of it, so he didn't take any advantage out of it. And Pampun immediately into the pits. Conboy now coming under pressure from Shakes. And I've done the commentator's curse on Heno. Heno joins the penalty list tonight. 3 seconds of penalties for Heno for corner cutting. Something that was predicted in qualifying. We saw a lot of guys get invalidated laps in qualifying, and in the race that translates to 3 warnings, and on the 3rd one you get a penalty. Conboy and Shakes fighting for 2nd position. Seems like Cheddar's got this wrapped up in 1st place, but 2nd place is not wrapped up. Shakes P2, Conboy P3. Shane up to P4. Pampun also bit of a recovery drive today. A drive of ups and downs. And as we speak of ups and downs, some more penalties. That last penalty was for the leading Red Bull tonight. That's for Shane. Remember, he already had 5 seconds. So that means he's up to 8. Luckily for him, the Ferrari of Top Gun is quite a ways behind, so if the race were to finish right now, he would only lose 1 position. And Pampun has penalties of his own. In fact, the entire field, with the exception of the leading Alpine, Buffelsfontein and Apmagosi, everyone else on track has penalties. If you're at home watching the stream, thanks for joining us. Thanks for always supporting the channel. Obviously, this is Montreal, Canada, lap 25 of 35, 10 laps to go. Cheddar leads the way, 3.9 seconds. Pretty comfortable lead. Shakes in P2, Conboy P3, but all the gaps really looking pretty open. I think this is one of the closest battles we have on track. It's the Red Bull and the Williams. think we actually saw the smallest of contact between these two drivers earlier on. Magosi picks up a position because Heno has made a final pit stop of the night. He's gone on to a set of softs. Cheddar really comfortable at the front now. Pampun and Shane swapping positions. Pampun gets ahead before the chicane and Shane has disappeared. That means he's gone into the pits. He's going to have to serve that 5-second penalty. He's going to sit there. It's going to feel terrible. Waiting for that set of softs. And he'll be hoping for a late safety car. Someone who can't seem to make a mistake tonight. Cheddar for Alpine leads the way, 3.5 seconds. Comfortable lead, and the cars behind him are all on softer tyres, and he's going faster than them. So everything going right for Alpine. Something that can't be said about the real thing. Obviously one of the 4 teams on the grid, starting with the letter A. Two of those teams will no longer be starting with the letter A next season. AlphaTauri, we don't know what it will be named yet, and obviously Alfa Romeo will become Sauber. Although on the other hand, Alfa Romeo will stay in the sport, it will now be at Haas, so could be a little confusing. MoneyGram, Alfa Romeo, Haas. I hope that's not what they call it. Cheddar's still out in front, and that gap is actually growing. 4.2 seconds. Shakes P2, Convoy P3. All of those positions seem pretty secure. Top Gun, 3-second penalty for him. Just before Fontaine, Magosi and Cheddar, the only drivers remaining without penalties on the night. Everyone else has pushed the limits of those white lines just a little too much. Also highlights the driving of your leader. Not only has he dominated the race, he's managed to keep the car within the lines. I suppose that's when you start making the mistakes, is when you're really pushing. And he's been in complete control so far. Lap 28 off 35, will we see something crazy happening? Maybe a late safety car to shake things up. Where Magosi, was he entering the pits? No, he wasn't. Thought he was entering the pits there. Fontaine down 1 position. Shane takes that position away from the Merc driver. Gets himself back up into P5. He's now got a fresh set of softs. So he should be able to get away from that Merc in pretty quick time. But Pampun is quite a way up the road. .2 seconds, the gap out front. That gap has sort of stabilized. Shakes P2, and he's got a big advantage of 6.5 seconds over P3. Pampun P4, and he's also a ways away from the podium. He's 4.5 seconds adrift. There's a lot of big gaps in the field. The only battle out on track right now, battle for P7. Nuclear Monkey going up against Top Gun. Top Gun having the advantage of the soft tyre and the fresher. The softer compound and the fresher tyre. He's going to have his hands full with that Ferrari, and there we go. Ferrari up the inside. Not much of a defence from the McLaren. And Top Gun will be on his way. But his next target, 17 seconds up the road. So right now on track, no real battles to speak of. Seems like the race has really settled down. Lap 30 of 35. Chances of seeing a safety car at this point in the race getting less and less. Just 5 laps to go. Cheddar still out in front with that hard set of tyres. Really hasn't looked like he's been on the slower compound. Convoy, good race for him, a little bit up and down. Just looking strong for P2 at one stage. Something we can do in the late stages of the race. So let's bring up this penalties column, get a better idea of what is happening exactly. Shakes is in P2, but he has 9 seconds worth of penalties. Convoy, Pampun and Shane 3 seconds apiece. Top Gun, Nuclear Monkey and MJ 6 seconds apiece. And then Henna at the back of the field has a 3-second penalty. So I think a lot of these will cancel each other out, but Shakes currently in position to lose this P2. If he wants to hold on to P2, he needs to build that gap up from 4.1 seconds to a minimum of 6. Otherwise he'll be demoted 1 step on the podium. Everyone else's penalties seem to cancel each other out. Laps 31 of 35. Positions remain the same. Cheddar, Shakes, Convoy. And Pampun has not given up on the podium. And he flies past the McLaren. And up into P3. Luckily for him, Convoy also has a 3-second penalty. And as I say that, commentators curse, folks, it's a real thing. Convoy picks up another 3 seconds worth of penalties. That's 6 seconds. And effectively now, the car in front of him, he's no longer in a battle with that car. He's 3 seconds behind that car. Pampun now has actually cleared away from that McLaren. Third place is secure. And I'm not sure if Pampun is aware of the penalty situation, but if he is aware of the penalty situation, he'll know that if he can close that gap to P2 down to 6 seconds, he can still steal P2 because Shakes has 9 seconds worth of penalties. He's just got to make sure he doesn't add to his own penalty column while trying. He's running out of time to do so though. 2 laps to go. Ferrari gets well out of the way of the leader. Not every day you see a Ferrari getting lapped by an Alpine. That's some special footage. One of the drivers to have a very eventful race and no penalties. Aston Martin, Magosi, your Season 7 commentator, now out on track. Putting me out of my misery at the back of the grid. 2 more laps. Cheddar out front, 2.4 seconds is the gap. Wonder if he's just backing off a little bit now. That gap coming down, 2.2 seconds, but not much Shakes can do about it. He's got a 9 seconds worth of penalties. Pampun, still 7.5 seconds, hasn't been able to close that gap quite down as much as he'd like. They have to somehow find 1.5 seconds in a lap and a half. Convoy out of podium contention now, including penalties. He's effectively 10 seconds off the podium. And with the sort of gap between P4 and P5, best result for the Red Bull driver that he can hope for is 5th place. Still ride with Cheddar, getting a lot of airtime tonight, but unfortunately not that many battles on track. Goes around the Gilles Villeneuve circuit one more time, lap 35 of 35. Almost wish it was a 100% race. Feels like it's ending too soon. Don't know if the drivers would agree. Get a helicopter shot. Heading down towards the hairpin. It's going to find a McLaren here on the Casino Straight, but I don't even know if he'll catch up to him. Shake still P2. Pampun has not been able to close that gap down to 6 seconds. So he's not going to be able to take advantage of Shake's penalties. And there's your winner. No penalties on the night. Pretty much dominated the night. And Cheddar first man over the line for Alpine. Shakes over the line in P2. He's going to hold on to that P2 regardless of his penalties. Don't weave that much when you've got penalties. Pampun goes over the line and luckily retires on the right side of the finish line. That was pretty close. Convoy over the line in P4. Next driver we wait for, 6 seconds for him. Shouldn't affect his position. Shane over the line, P5. Weaves over the line, I guess after all that. Got to be happy with the result. Good handful of points. Buffelsfontein, P6. Such a relief when you get past that chicane for the final time. Top Gun, P7. And now just one car yet to see the checkered flag. And it's this one here. So good result. Nuclear Monkey, P8. It's going to pick up points on the night. So not the most exciting race when it came to midfield battles. We had a few battles at the front, but they all got neutralized and effectively broken by safety cars. As for round 4, that was the Canadian Grand Prix at JPR on Friday night. First place went to Cheddar, 4 Alpine, Shakes P2, Pampun P3, that's your podium. Then we've got Convoy P4, Shane P5, Buffelsfontein, and Top Gun in P6 and 7, Nuclear Monkey P8, MJ P9, Atmagosi P10, and then missing out on points tonight, Heno, P11, Dan Rietveld had a DNF, Panda had a DNF, and Staffy had a DNF. So just the one driver finishing outside the points. I feel your frustration. Saw some people online tonight, saw some people watching tonight. Just the comment section was quiet. But to everyone who was watching, thanks for joining us. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Leave a like. And we'll be back next week Friday for round 5. Wherever that may be. I'll look at the calendar next time. Enjoy.